5, I can't even tell you.
Oh, I got to wash my hair that night. I'm gone.
I'm excited for it. I love 1975.
You would.
Bush.
Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Problematic.
Out of my left earbud.
Getting off to a banging start here.
Joining me as always,
Step hens.
Dollar Bill Dave.
I touch myself.
I just need to clip that. Just Dave leaning for I touched myself.
And Timmy C.
Goo, goo, goo.
Dave's is awesome, and he got a new hat, and it's hilarious. Are you drunk? Yes or no? And it's marked on the right-hand side for both.
Time limit draws get my panties wet. I love it.
We've covered this butt wipe on a few different occasions.
Butt wipe?
You don't call people butt wipe anymore?
No, I'm not 7. Good news is I've limited the producer's amount to screw us over this, so we're actually going to get to sing along with the songs now. You are welcome.
You got it right! Oh, you're right! The party!
Pow!
That's the best pre-intro talk we've ever done.
The preamble, Bush.
Because we didn't even mean to. I go to press play and Dave goes, Bush. And then we hit the intro.
I saw you laughing in the background.
Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Step hens.
Joining me as always, Dollar Bill Dave.
Fresh off the boat. Look at the suntan. Yeah.
And Timmy C.
Who?
How are those ribs?
Coming to visit your boat soon.
It is. I told my wife, so I got the boat Friday. My last boat I bought, the one you guys have been on, I paid $20,000 for.
Where TJ pitched a fish to that.
So it was a 2014 boat that I bought brand new in 2016. So they were trying to get it off the lot. I paid $19,005 out the door, boat, motor, and trailer.
$19,005.
$19,005. I just spent $67,000 on a new boat, and I got it for about $14,000 under because I bought it at the boat show. I told my wife, I said, so I went out on it Friday. I met with the dealer. They brought it to me so we could put it in the lift and everything. And I just took it for a quick spin because it was kind of chilly, and I had a lot of shit to get done on Friday. I said, let me tell you something.
You're important now.
I said, let me tell you something. I said, there is a world of difference between a $20,000 pontoon and a $70,000 pontoon. This boat is fucking nice. My kids loved it today. It is so nice.
What does it have that is worth $40,000?
Well, it's a tri-tune for one.
Extra undercarriage?
It's got another tune. It's bigger. It's got all the bells and whistles, the Lorans, and it's got a nice Bluetooth speaker, great stereo system. So the top, you remember the top we'd have to put up by hand, and push a button, does it all itself. The cushions are like sitting on pillows. The seats, like my captain's chair, everything, it reclines. It moves, the other seat reclines. It's got a huge bed in the back so I can fold it down and my kids can sleep back there. It's awesome.
I'm in.
I don't know if it's worth $40,000 extra.
It's got a lot more motor. Goes a whole lot faster.
Girthier.
Well, you could buy a new motor and softer seats, and Bluetooth speakers aren't very expensive. You could hire TJ to lift your little roof for you.
I'll just press the button. TJ gets up.
It's a little shot collar we put on TJ.
Okay. There it goes. You guys forget I'm an electrician. I'd fucking wire it up. I ain't doing that shit. So please remember to subscribe and rate this show wherever you get your podcast. While you're at it, follow our show on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Popcast. Follow our network on Twitter at Rams Sports Net. Timmy, what the hell is going. What happened to Filter Free, and what is this RAM network we're talking about?
Well, RAM network for you is probably something different than me.
Mm.
But
It's
we
not
are
God
now
either.
wrestling and more because Pondwater Dave hates W's. So we are the
Yes.
Wrestling and More Network. You will get our originals, Legends, Let's Rethink This. Football is getting paid with Tim and Dave. Evolution of Evil from the archives. Wrestling with commercials, plus our list of 2024 bus rides and events. But now you'll also
I just
get
saw the fun director this weekend. There will be a new Evolution of Evil coming soon.
But you will also get TNA Top 10 with T-Weave and Hermes, as I like to call him, Andrew Hermes. You will get Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave, along with a ton, and I do mean ton, of bonus content. Like, that group chat gets on my nerves. It is so many ideas bouncing around in there, I can't keep up.
So, as a matter of fact, tonight at midnight, the very first episode.
That would be last night.
Oh, yeah, last night.
At midnight.
So last night at midnight, April 1st at midnight, an audience with the Belt Pope. A brand new show only on the RAM network with none other than Pondwater Dave and his belt collection. You're not going to want to miss that. We have a ton of different ideas and shows that we're going to be pushing out your way. Hermes and I are now going to do an NWA show because 80s NWA, I have a collection to a huge archive of it. And I've never seen a lot of that old school NWA. Sure as shit don't remember it because I haven't watched it over like I've done with so many of the WWF stuff.
Because you were bald the last time it was aired, most likely. Like baby bald.
Probably. But we're going to go back and we're going to revisit NWA. We haven't decided on the years. So we might end up doing it right when Turner buys it from Crockett. We may do some Crockett. We'll see. But we're going to do a weekly NWA show.
That is winter of 88.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast. We'll probably start somewhere around 87. That's what I'm thinking.
I do know we're supposed to do a world-class show with Pondwater.
We've got world-class show ideas going.
My project is going to be called The Crossover Monthly. We will do a watch along with different members of all three shows. Mostly wrestling. Some maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll watch The Breakfast Club together.
I gotta wash my hair that night.
Good. Dave doesn't like good things.
You seem to be washing your hair a lot when we do shows now lately.
Yeah. It's a tough life down here.
Oh, wait, they don't know.
You try growing it first, I think.
They don't know why you're washing your hair the first time. We'll say that for the end of the show. Also, me and Amy, the Power of the Pen with Brian Solomon will be releasing on Tuesday. So
that's today.
Yes, today it will be. It will already be. Well, probably won't already be up. It'll be up probably this afternoon. If you listen to the show and minutes it dropped.
By the way, because we are now changing everything up, resetting the process, you will get the month of April for 0 doll hairs.
Say what?
0.
$0. That's crazy. That's a bald doll.
And then in May, it's
this weekend, there's going to be a lot of WrestleMania stuff going.
There is.
There's going to be all kinds of content on the Patreon.
And Pondwater Day's birthday party.
Be there or be square.
Wait, why are we celebrating Pondwater's birthday?
Because it's his birthday and WrestleMania.
Mine was yesterday. You guys didn't say shit.
Yours was 3 days ago.
You didn't remind us.
I did. And in fact, we all said happy birthday. What the fuck?
And you were sleeping.
What's funny is you guys said happy birthday. My dad did not. So that's fun.
All right. So we're also starting a bonus feature on Patreon. We shrink TJ's head.
No, I got a big head. My dad always forgets my birthday.
Oh,
it's not new.
I bet he remembers 9 months prior.
I mean, I don't even think he knows his own birthday.
Well, I was saying he could remember coming.
No, I heard you. I'm just
banging out your mom.
Yeah, they've only been
Wow.
divorced for 30 years this year. Actually,
I bet he still sits around and thinks about that. I remember I hit that ass.
probably. I'm realistic how life looks to me. I don't know if you know me. We ready to start this show?
I keep trying to throw TJ off. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Old Mary Lou used to
Banging my
just-
mom. I don't care.
Mom's name was Connie. It's not Mary Lou.
Oh,
Just to,
let's do it.
We're ready to start the show because.
hold on. What?
See, this is
Sorry,
why we
it's been
do
a
this.
bit.
This week, we're going back to April 18th, 1998. We relived some WCW Saturday Night. This is actually the go-home show before Spring Stampede 98. However, before we get to that show, let's see what was happening in your world yesterday. Let's run through some events. Let's bring up first, Jimmy.
I dropped it early.
You don't want to drop it early, then you have to go to the doctor. Stories that missed the cut. April 4th, the NFL Europe officially kicks off its season.
It's called the World League, you asshat.
Is that still a thing?
No, it wasn't a thing then. That's what World League became NFL Europe, and they got rid of whatever San Antonio team they had.
Now it's UFL.
By the way, caca!
Why
They
would
lost. They
San
lost.
Antonio be in the NFL Europe?
It was World League.
It was San Antonio, Germany.
Okay.
No,
that's
they
up.
had. It was weird. They had a team in San Antonio and like Munich, and it was Hence why they just dropped. They're like, sorry, San Antonio, don't need you, and went to straight Europe.
This away schedule is stupid. We can't do it anymore. April 5th, the Arizona Diamondbacks get their first official win in franchise history as they snap their 0-5 start with a 3-2 win over the San Francisco Giants. This was the second worst start by an expansion team in Major League history, behind only the 62 Mets, who started 0-9.
Yeah, they were bad.
They were bad. Very good. April 6th, country music star Tammy Wynette, singer of Stand By Your Man, dies at the age of 55.
Do. Speaking of, have you heard the duet between Pitbull and Dolly Parton?
No, but I need to. Now you say that.
You did. Oh God, it's ridiculous. It's basically they took 9 to 5 and remixed it, and I'm pretty sure that Dolly does a rap without her dentures in. She just sounds like, you know how a person sounds when they have dentures and they take them out and it's just.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fully aware how toothless people talk after this weekend I just had.
Shout out to Tommy Rich.
No, he had his teeth in.
Yeah, well, not his. There was someone else.
I actually had Justin made this funnier because he said something I should have said and I didn't. There was a woman, not a lot of teeth, walked up to Ultimo Dragon. She's just standing there next to me, and I'm just staring at her
because she was hot with no teeth.
And I look at her, I go, "Is there something I can help you with?" She goes, "I grew up watching him on TV, and I'm just so overwhelmed by his presence, I can't say his name." And
I
go,
doubt she could say his name to begin with.
And I said, I was standing there, and Justin immediately said his name was on the banner directly behind him. I didn't say I should have. I missed it. April 12th, Marco Mira claims his first golfing major championship as he wins the 62nd Masters tournament with a 20-foot birdie putt on the final hole to seal the deal, beating David Duval and Fred Couples by one stroke.
Is it Mark or Marco? Marco.
Oh, well done.
Miro.
I was very confused for a second.
I loved him in Days of Thunder.
Marco Mira?
David Duval.
It's Robert Duvall.
Oh.
It's Nicole Kidman.
Harry Hogg.
It's Harry Hogg, by the way.
This is not his
Top
name in the
5
movie.
great movie names.
That's not his name in the movie.
Yes, it is.
It's Harry Hyde.
It's not Harry
Yeah.
Hogg?
No, it's Harry Hyde.
It's Harry
I thought it
Hyde.
was Harry Hogg. Like, till now, I thought it was Harry Hogg.
We actually covered that movie recently, and you called him that in the show, and we didn't correct you, and I don't know
Because
why.
I thought that was his name.
Definitely Harry Hyde.
I prefer Harry Hog.
You would. You do prefer Harry Hog.
You do.
1975.
Cut that. I prefer Harry Hog. Cut that.
That's good.
I just got to clip that right there. Harry Hog.
You have a strong hand. April 15th, Pol Pot, the Cambodian dictator who was in power from 1976 to 79 and was responsible for the Cambodian genocide, dies at the age of 72 after having a heart attack while he was sleeping in prison.
At least that prison had a pot to piss in.
Afterwards,
Or on. I mean, fuck
that's
that
a
guy.
piss on. Wow. April 17th, Linda McCartney, the wife of Paul McCartney, dies of breast cancer at age 56.
Paul didn't care.
I remember that.
Wow.
He was upset, and then he married a young girl with one leg.
Oh, that's true.
He liked the cripples.
Or as you ever seen the Family Guy skit where Peter Griffin's playing footsie with her? And then all of a sudden you just hear like the sound of a bat hitting the floor. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. April 22nd, the Animal Kingdom officially opens in Walt Disney World in Orlando.
Had a friend that worked there around that time.
Really?
Disney does this fun slavery thing where they bring in college kids and don't pay them and make them work in the park for a summer.
I believe they call it an internship.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
What do you learn working the ice cream stand at Disney World about your major?
Depends what your major is.
By the way,
maybe they're majoring in Dairy Queen.
His major was botany. So what do you learn about botany working an ice cream stand?
Was it plant-based ice cream?
Yeah.
No, they didn't have that in 1998.
Maybe it was reefer ice cream.
Maybe it was slavery.
Well, Disney was kind of big on that. April 27th, we rock out for the rainforest, and Carnegie Hall in New York City holds a benefit concert with musical acts such as Sting, Elton John, James Taylor, Madonna, Billy Joel, Joe Cocker, and Wynonna Judd.
I don't know.
I was there.
Wynonna Judd's rocking out, but okay.
Ashley Judd.
Her sister's a whore, yes.
We've done that before.
What
that was stories that missed the cut, stories in the wheelhouse. April 18th. Let's head over to New York City, where we're not going to watch Rockin' for the Rainforest. We're going to watch the NFL draft here at Madison Square Garden. In retrospect, we may not talk about this draft enough for the right reasons anyway, because it was absolutely loaded. Instead, of course, we focus on the dilemma between the Indianapolis Colts, their number one pick, and whether to take Washington State quarterback Ryan Leaf or the leader of the Tennessee Volunteers, Peyton Manning. This draft produced 4 Hall of Famers in the forms of Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, Randy Moss, and Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Jets guard Alan Faneca. It's Faneca. There was also a bevy of future Pro Bowlers in this draft, including both supplemental picks, who were guard Mike Wally of the Green Bay Packers and defensive tackle and Jamal Williams of the San Diego Chargers. There were even 4 undrafted free agents who would become Pro Bowlers, including the man Peyton Manning would later describe as our drunken kicker, Mike Vanderjagt, London Fletcher, Phil Dawson, also a kicker, and Manning's future center, Jeff Saturday.
Pop quiz. Where'd Jeff Saturday play college? Ball.
What was it?
Play college ball.
Saturday was he Georgia?
Florida State?
Both incorrect. University of North Carolina. He was a Tar Heel.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. The New York Jets had the most selections in the draft with 12 picks. The Lions had the fewest with only 5. Who did our 3 teams pick? The Chicago Bears drafted Penn State running back Curtis Enos at number 5. The Bengals picked Takeo Spikes at number 13, which means Timmy's going to guess him today in Boxford Trivia. And the Bucks did not pick until the fourth pick of the second round, where they took wide receiver Jaquez Green from University of Florida.
He was a linebacker. Are we doing tackles?
I used to hang out with Jaquez Green.
I believe that.
Yeah, I did.
We really kicked the we screwed up Takeo Spikes. We should have kept him. He's good.
Florida State University produced a ton of talent and had a total of 9 players drafted in 1998, led by Andre Wadsworth, who went to the Arizona Cardinals with the 3rd pick, and Trey Thomas, who went to Philadelphia with the 11th pick overall. After holding out until the night before the season opener, Wadsworth finally signed with the Cardinals, a 6-year, $42 million contract with a $10.49 million signing bonus. 10.5.
They got jobbed.
After a great rookie season, Wadsworth had multiple knee surgeries, including double knee surgeries after the 2000 season, which led to his release from the Cardinals and the end of his football career. Man, what could have been.
He cashed in, though.
I know I'm an FSU homer, but let me tell you, Andre Wadsworth was a damn beast in college. And he was regarded by many to be the best player in the 1998 NFL draft. But obviously the Colts and Chargers needed quarterbacks, so they went in that direction. Everybody thought the Cardinals were getting a huge steal by holding the 3rd pick because they knew Wadsworth was going to be there.
Little known fact, Wadsworth got the steal, and it was a contract.
It was.
Speaking of college beasts and just kind of beasts in general, really, the star of this draft, and by far the most successful pick, was number 2 pick, and probably should have been number 1, Ryan Leaf. This guy had a resume, guys.
I can't figure out what part of your first sentence is like the biggest pile of shit.
To obtain the 2nd pick from the Arizona Cardinals, San Diego traded. By the way, you just said the Cardinals did not need a quarterback. They had Jake Plummer at this point.
Yep.
Jake the Snake.
Here's how stupid San Diego was. They traded their 3rd overall pick. They were right behind them. Right behind them. Zero.
They didn't want somebody else.
Either quarterback.
They didn't want somebody else to jump in.
Still stupid.
That's also how the Bears got Mitch Trubisky.
So they traded their 3rd overall pick right behind them, a future 1st round pick and a 2nd round pick, and 3-time Pro Bowler Eric Metcalf, which he was good. Guaranteeing the right to draft whichever of the 2 quarterbacks Indianapolis did not take first. Boy, they got it right. Oh, got it right. San Diego's high hopes for Leaf were soon dashed as his rookie season was marred by poor behavior, starting with skipping the final day of the symposium, mandatory for all NFL draftees, and incurring a $10,000 fine. Bro, you can't make it to the meetings.
Well, that's not entirely true, because I think it was like Leafs like first 2 games he was lights out.
What?
And then after that it was just
hey, dickhead, we'll get to that. The next day, Leaf was caught on camera shouting at San Diego Tribune reporter Jay Posner to knock it off during a locker room interview, and was led away by Junior Seau and a team executive, during which he called Posner a, quote, fucking bitch. It's what you look for from your quarterback. After Leaf had 4 first-half passes picked off by New York Giants in week 4, he was benched by head coach Kevin Gilbride in favor of former 6th-round pick Craig Wheelyhan. Do you know how bad you have to be to get benched for Craig Wheelyhan?
By the way, do you want to know the question Posner asked Ryan Leaf that set him off to call it's now the knock it off video?
I can imagine he was like, hey, why didn't you make the last day of that meeting?
No, it was, what do you contribute to your inconsistent play?
He hadn't played anything yet.
Well, he was not doing well in preseason either.
Oh, well. No, he was killing it. Trust me. 4 first-half passes picked off by the Giants in week 4. And by the way, you said he was killing it in the first 2 weeks. They won those games.
Right.
They were not because of him.
By the way, the 1998 Giants, not that good.
No. Apparently, ball hawking defense, though. During his brief career in the NFL, Leaf appeared in 25 games and made 21 starts. He completed 317 of 655 passes. That's 48%. That's not great.
No.
For 3,666 yards with 14 touchdowns and 36 interceptions, a career quarterback rating of 50. Should have been negative 50. Dish Network included Leaf in their 2015 show or whatever. I guess it was a show. Biggest NFL bust bracket, where he was a number 1 seed, of course, along with fellow bust Jamarcus Russell. He was terrible. Tony Mandarich, also terrible. David Carr. I just think Houston screwed him because, God, that guy got.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't include Mandarich or David Carr.
David Carr got screwed.
He did.
David Carr got hit a lot.
Mandarich flamed out the Packers, but when Peyton Manning gets drafted here in 98, his right tackle is Tony Mandarich, or his right guard is Tony Mandarich.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be like a
he was supposed to be
superstar.
Yes.
And he was a really
the
great.
funniest story ever was the Raiders coaches sending Jamarcus Russell home with blank VHS tapes, telling him to study, and then asking him if he studied when he came to practice, and he's telling them he did. And they were blank VHS tapes. Nothing gets better than that.
Jesus.
On March 30, 2012, Leaf was arrested for burglary, theft, and drug charges in his hometown of Great Falls, Montana. The one cop caught him. How bad are you at this that the one cop caught you?
The day I turned 27.
Well, on April 1st, 2012, Leaf attempted suicide by slitting his wrists.
Not touching that.
Well, it was because he got arrested. By the way, I think he got arrested again the next day. On June 19, 2012, Leaf was sentenced to 7 years in custody of the Montana Department of Corrections, with 2 years suspended if he abided by the conditions imposed by District Judge Kenneth Neal in Montana. Do you think he did it?
How big of a dick do you have to be to commit suicide and they arrest you?
All right, they arrested him. He attempted suicide.
Yeah.
Got out. I don't know why they didn't put like a 72-hour psych hold on him, but like 2 days later, got arrested again for the same shit. Burglary, drugs. Like, dude had a problem.
Apparently he's cleaned up.
I guess
now.
if you successfully commit suicide, they can't really arrest you the next day.
You're right, Dave. He's cleaned up. Let's keep going though.
Well, now.
Okay. He was to spend the first 9 months of his sentence in lockdown and addiction treatment in the facility in Nexus Treatment Center in Lewistown, Montana. But on January 17, 2013, Leaf was remanded to Montana State Prison in Deer Lodge after being found guilty of, quote, behavior that violated conditions of his drug treatment placement. He was also accused of threatening a program staff member.
He was just saying, knock it off.
Most likely, knock it off.
Stop asking me questions about my drugs.
But Dave's right. He cleaned up. On May 22nd, 2020, Leaf was arrested for misdemeanor domestic battery in Palm Desert, California. Good job.
He is a good Twitter follower.
Way to clean it up. No drugs. He just beats on women now.
I think he's cleaned himself up. He's been doing a lot of interviews and shit lately. And
hey, I'm going to let you know, Dave, just because they put a mic in front of you doesn't mean you're cured.
we'll see. I mean, he's admitted to his past faults. So
well, it's kind of hard to hide him. You spent like 3 years in prison.
Yep.
I can tell you who I would not draft in the first round with the number 1 pick if I was getting ready to do this.
But today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Vernon and Waugh. Mike Vernon with a great left.
Here it is. 8. Pressure with 3. Winston's going to run the ball. Makes a guy miss. Comes down there. Over the second rafter. Off the floor. Nothing but net. Through the window. Off the wall. Nothing but net. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
You know what I just realized? I think our former producer really favored one of us over the other two because, Timmy, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see any Reds or Bengals or anything in that, or Cubs or Bears, but I saw Florida fucking State in that highlight package.
And Kirk Cousins.
Stupid non-teeth moving face. But anyway, we're doing 1998 NFL. You gotta like that. We're doing 1998 league leaders. It's a new month. We'll see what Timmy can do here. We're gonna start with passing touchdown leaders. Timmy, we will start with you. 1998 passing touchdown leaders. How many can you name? I'll give you a hint. Ryan Leaf, not on this list.
He might. Do we have interception leaders? Because he might be.
Yes.
I can go with.
And he's still not in the top 10 for
three.
that. 3. Dave, can you do more than 3?
In 98, I can do more than 3.
Okay, how many are you going?
4.
4. Let's hear them.
Okay. Denver won. So John Elway.
9th with 22.
They beat Atlanta. I can't think of his name. Brett Favre.
3rd with 31.
98. So Steve Young
Led the league with 36.
and Randall Cunningham.
2nd with 34. There's 4. Timmy, you need 5.
Steve McNair.
No. So here's the rest of your top 10. In 10th, Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend Trent Dilfer with 21.
Trent Dilfer. Yeah.
Tied for 7th, Trent Green and Dan Marino each had 23.
Oh, Dan Marino still there. Yeah.
Yep. He had one more season after this. He retired in 2006. Chris Chandler of the Atlanta Falcons, 25.
Chris Chandler.
5th, Peyton Manning with 26. 4th, Vinny Testaverde of the New York Jets with 29. And there you go.
No
So
McNair.
Dave gets a point. Boom. Let's move to rushing yard leaders. Dave, rushing yard leaders, how many you got here?
3.
Timmy, can you do more than 3?
I can do 4.
Do it. I
So
like this. Timmy's aggressive.
Atlanta Falcons. Their quarterback, I believe at the time, was Chris Chandler, but they were not successful because of him. They were successful because of Jamal Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal
Bird.
Anderson.
He was 2nd, 1,846. There's 1.
Ricky Waters.
9th, 1,239. Bonus point if you can name the team.
Not the 49ers?
Nope.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Emmett.
Emmitt Smith, 5th, 1,332. One more.
Oh, see, now this is where I shit in my hat.
You're not wearing a hat. You can do it. I believe in you.
Eddie George wasn't in the league yet. Natron Means.
Oh, you were so close. So close. Dave, you need 4. Timmy named
4?
3. Timmy named 3.
I can only think of Terrell Davis.
Led the league 2008.
Barry Sanders.
4th, 1,491. There are some good ones on this list.
Fred Taylor.
10th, 1,223. Timmy, you're gonna be real pissed when I read some of these names.
I know.
I just
Give me a
want you to know
team.
that. Let's see.
We can ask for team shit.
You knew this. Let's see. Let's do. I don't want to give you an obvious one. There's one guy on this list I'm not sure either of you would have got, so I'm going to give you the team now. San Francisco.
It's not Ricky Waters, I can tell you that.
He was known for having a 97-yard touchdown run in overtime. I don't know if it was this season, but it was around now.
San Francisco. It's not Roger Craig.
No. He had a,
No, he had been retired a long
Yeah, I
time.
know. That's what I'm saying.
he had a good 4 or 5 year run with San Francisco and then kind of faded away.
Who's the guy for the Patriots?
Drew Bledsoe.
You're an
In
idiot.
98.
I got nothing.
So here is
I'll
your
just
top-
throw out work done.
No. So here is your top.
You do
10.
not win. You didn't
I
get
get
it.
a point. I get
No,
a
you
point.
don't. No, you don't.
I got just as many as you, stupid.
I don't get a
Correct.
point.
No.
That's horse shit.
You said you named 4. You said you
He
named
didn't
3.
beat me.
So, okay, you didn't win either.
I don't get a. We tied, idiot. I don't get a point either.
If you're both racing cars and both of your transmissions fall out, neither one of you win.
Well, we get out and do a foot race. I've seen Talladega.
Curtis Martin.
Let's see here.
Too late
8th,
for that.
Curtis Martin of the
Too
New
late.
York Jets.
You don't win.
I win.
No, we
That's
called
4. That's
What's
4.
it. It was too late.
I don't understand what's 4.
That was my 4th. Curtis
Curtis
Martin.
Martin,
Actually,
Yeah.
no. Your 4th was one that was wrong.
the guy from the.
Oh yeah,
Patriots.
threw out
Warwick
work
Dunn.
Is he on there?
No.
Oh yeah. There's no way because he
7th.
split time with Allstott.
Yeah. 7th, Eddie George, 1,294.
Oh, he was in the league. God damn it.
6th, Marshall Falk, 1,319.
Was that Colts or Rams?
Colts. 3rd, Garrison Hurst of the San Francisco 49ers,
Oh, Garrison
1,570. So up next, receptions. Dave, we're back to you.
Oh, 4.
Timmy,
Do it.
do it. Oh, fuck. Timmy's going to shit himself when he hears one of the people on this list.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. No.
So I have to name one,
Timmy, you need 1.
and I'm gonna shit myself when I hear it.
Come on.
Randy Moss didn't have receptions in '98.
Receiving yards, maybe he didn't need that
No.
many receptions.
Nobody, well, first of all, no one had over 90. The league leader had 90, and no Minnesota Vikings are on this list.
Even though Randall Cunningham had the most passing touchdowns, or
That's
near
right.
the top.
7th.
Let's see. So good.
Randy Moss
team.
did lead the league in receiving touchdowns.
See,
Mhm.
good teams. So really, Chris Carter wasn't on that list. That's terrible.
Way to go. Gave him one.
Well, no, he said there were no Vikings on the list.
I know because you would have said Chris Carter because you're an idiot.
Let's see. Denver was good, but I don't know any of their receivers.
Mm.
Packers were good.
You are bumming me out right now.
Oh my god.
98, Carl Pickens.
Tied for 7th with 82.
Yeah!
Carl Pickens finally hits. Here's the rest of your top 10. In 10th, Tim Brown with 81. Tied with Carl Pickens, Jerry Rice, and Herman Moore. 6th, Keyshawn Johnson. 5th, Antonio Freeman. 3rd, Marshall Falk and Rod Smith of the Denver Broncos. 2nd, Frank Sanders. And the league leader with 90 was O.J. McDuffie. So, Timmy, you're going to give us to the last category. And we're going to do tackles.
Oh, Jesus.
How many can you name?
Zero.
Wow. Dave, can you
I
get
can name one. I can
Okay,
name
go
one.
ahead.
Derek Brooks.
Derek Brooks. No. Oh, I'm sorry. He led the league with 123.
No. Oh, wait a minute. He was
I-
number one.
I missed the top name. Timmy, can you name 2?
He said he got to go. He said 0.
Well,
but
now,
you
but I
got-
get the chance to
Well, that's horseshit.
That's the rules, man.
No, he got 0.
Yeah, he kind of quit the run before we even started, but that's okay.
Yeah. Dave gets the point.
Charles Haley.
I mean, you're definitely getting the point. Charles Haley, defensive end. Here's the rest of your top 10. There's a very specific reason.
Tony
why
Siragusa.
James Francis.
There's a very specific reason, by the way, why I did tackles. Ed McDaniel, John Mobley, and Ken Norton Jr. were all tied for 8th. 7th, Takeo Spikes,
Takeo.
95.
Not Takeo.
You could have had him, you idiot face.
Buffalo Bills legend, Takeo Spikes.
6th, Michael Barrow with 97. 5th, Ray Lewis. 3rd, Greg Beekert and Marcus Patton. And 2nd was Chad Brown with 117. And that was box score trivia. We are tied 1-1.
No, I got 2, idiot face.
Where did
He
you
did
get the
get-
set?
yeah.
Oh, you got tackles.
The
That's
tackles.
right.
God,
Not
you're
bad.
a cheater.
It's 2-1.
I quit this show.
You don't. I don't understand how you quit the show. and
He's
you
a Buccaneer. He's
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
that was good. That was very
CTE.
good. All right, I'm going to give Timmy a point for that comment.
What? You better give me
April-
another point, or I'm going to strangle one of your nut sacks.
Just what? How many do I have?
Multiple.
Okay. I was not aware. Thank you. April 22nd. Let's put on our cowboy hats and assless chaps as we discuss the 33rd Country Music Awards. This event was held at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville and was the 32nd edition of the award show. Most categories were loaded here with stars in the genre, and they also inducted 4 members into their Hall of Fame. George Morgan, E.W. Bud Wendell, the aforementioned Tammy Wynette, and Elvis Presley. Am I the only one that thinks it's weird that they didn't induct Elvis until 1998?
Well, I think he had to be dead for 20 years at that
I mean, he
point.
died in 79.
He was in the country music.
Yeah, he kind of
I
was.
thought he was the king of rock and roll.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah,
They didn't know
he's
what rock
he's
and
the
roll
prince
was.
of country.
Yeah, he was the squire.
Held dual
George,
offices.
George Strait and Tim McGraw led the way with 5 nominations each, while someone named Steve Wariner led with 3 award wins.
Warner. It's Warner.
Sure. McGraw was nominated for Music Event of the Year when him and Faith Hill held Just to Hear You Say That You Love Me.
From their
He was
bed.
also nominated for Male Vocalist of the Year, Album of the Year, which he won for Everywhere, and Entertainer of the Year. George Strait was nominated for Music Video of the Year, Single of the Year for I Just Want to Dance With You, Male Vocalist of the Year, which
I
he
wanna
won.
dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. I don't think it's that one.
No, it's not. Album of the Year
we're dancing with somebody.
and Entertainer of the Year. Now, I have not mentioned Garth Brooks, who won
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks, who won Entertainer of the Year, or Faith Hill, or Trisha Underwood. So you're
Trisha
up-
Yearwood.
Yearwood, not underwear.
Underwood.
Underword.
Trisha
Trisha
Yearwood.
Underswear.
Trisha Dogwood. So you guys are up now.
Country Music Awards, huh?
Yep.
Never seen it.
Of course.
Music Video of the Year was won by former show topic Faith Hill, who's best known for her role in 1883 as Margaret Dutton. In case you've never seen 1883, do yourself a favor and get Paramount Plus for a month and binge watch that shit. It's awesome.
Okay.
I loved him and Rudy. Charles Dutton.
That was him?
Yeah.
Which one is he on?
Faith Hill played Charles Dutton, who was also in Rudy.
Faith Hill played Charles Dutton.
That's what he said. 1883, Charles Dutton.
Margaret Dutton.
Whatever. Let's never forget the winner for Album of the Year, Tim McGraw, and his pal Kenny Chesney, living like they were dying in Buffalo just a couple years later. In 2000, Kenny Chesney and McGraw became involved in a scuffle with police officers in Buffalo, New York, after Chesney was riding
Again? We're doing this one again?
horse.
I teed up Garth Brooks
Refused
for
to
you.
get off the horse.
I put Garth Brooks on a platter, and you're going back to a story we did 2 months ago.
I love it. He's riding a horse.
God.
What was
Beer
the
for
joke
my
I made
horse
about
is-
this?
I don't know. Something about Faith Hill's long face.
Oh.
McGraw came to Chesney's aid after police officers nearby believed the horse was being stolen.
I can't believe you're doing the same story. You lazy
Were
fucker.
arrested and charged. Chesney for disorderly conduct and McGraw for assault. They were acquitted in 2001 because they got money.
Hey, wait, did you actually watch Saturday Night or did you just copy and paste?
I actually watched.
I don't believe you.
In
You didn't bitch about it.
acknowledgement of his grandfather's Italian heritage, McGraw was honored by the National Italian American Foundation in 2004, receiving the NIAF Special Achievement Awards music during the foundation's 29th anniversary gala. Indian outlaw my ass. He's a mafia outlaw, apparently.
I don't think that's true either.
Well, he went to the Italian heritage thing.
But it
There
doesn't mean
are
he's a
no
mafia-
Indians in Italia.
That doesn't mean he's automatically a mafioso just because he's Italian.
I think it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I
April
watched The
20
Godfather.
April 23rd. Convicted killer of Martin Luther King Jr., James Earl Ray, dies at the age of 70 while in prison after kidney disease and liver failure due to complications from Hep C. Good fuck him. We have discussed Ray in a previous episode, but it was specifically pertaining to the time he met King's son, and the two held a conversation and essentially made amends. Let's talk about James Earl Ray in detail now. He was born on March 10th, 1928 in Alton, Illinois. His life didn't start out easy, as in 1935, his father George passed a bad check in Alton and had to then uproot and move the family to Ewing, Missouri. I love that in the 30s, one bad check, and you just had to disappear to another state entirely. Shit, we didn't pay for them bananas for real. We got to go. James was the oldest of 9 children. John, Larry, Franklin, Jerry William, Melba, Carol Ray Pepper, Suzanne, and Marjorie. And also the majority of his siblings all had the middle name Ray.
Carol Ray Pepper.
Carol Ray Pepper. She became a doctor later. Dr. Pepper.
She tastes good.
I thought it was Dr. Carol
Pepper.
Ray.
James would then leave school at the age of 12 and enlisted in the Army towards the end of World War II at the age of 17. In 1948, Ray was discharged from the military for ineptitude and lack of adaptability. I love that the military doesn't fuck around. Like, listen, you're stupid and you ain't good at this. Get the fuck out of here. Ray's first conviction was in 49 for burglary in the state of California, then armed robbery of a taxi driver in 52, mail fraud in 55, armed robbery of a Kroger in 59.
You son of a bitch. Don't rob Kroger.
Yeah, you leave Kroger's alone.
Go to
where
Walmart.
he stole an entire $120. Now, grants
But in 1959, that's worth like $4 million.
That's
now.
a good haul.
That's $4 million. He had the safe in the back of his
He
Chevy.
could have bought a Buick for that.
After the Kroger theft, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison due to repeat offenses, only to escape from the Missouri State Penitentiary in 1967 after hiding in a transport truck from the prison bakery. They didn't make any of that up. Then his post-escape life would begin.
On April 4th, 1968, Ray killed civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. with a single shot fired from his Remington rifle while King was standing on the second floor balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. Shortly after the shot was fired, witnesses saw Ray fleeing from a rooming house across the street from the motel where he had been renting a room. Ray fled to Atlanta in his white Ford Mustang, driving 11 hours. He picked up his belongings and fled north to Canada, arriving in Toronto 3 days later, where he hid for over a month and acquired a Canadian passport under the false name of Raymond George Snide. After leaving Toronto, Ray headed off to the United Kingdom and lay pretty low there till he was arrested at London Heathrow Airport attempting to leave for Brussels. At check-in, a ticket agent noticed the name of his passport. Snide was a Royal Canadian Mounted Police watch list. Ray was quickly extradited to Tennessee, where he was charged with the murder of King, and after pleading guilty, was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Did we not do the death penalty back then? What are we doing?
That's why he
That's why he pled
took the
guilty.
plea.
Will should have put him to death.
Well, I still hate when you guys make me do this.
Do what?
Claims soon arose over suspect
Talk?
aspects of King's assassination and the controversial role of the alleged assassin James Earl Ray. Although his guilty plea eliminated a possibility of trial before jury within days, Ray had recanted and claimed his confessions were forced. Suspicions were further raised by the confirmation of illegal surveillance by King of the FBI and the CIA. Shocker that our government would be spying on someone as important as, Martin Luther King Jr. And the FBI's attempt to prompt King to commit suicide. Yeah, they're dirty bastards back in the 60s, especially.
Oh, yeah.
In 1979, the United States House Select Committee on Assassination concluded that there was likelihood conspiracy in the assassination of King and that Ray may have served as the scapegoat.
Wait.
I think we've seen this before.
United States, there's a committee on assassinations?
Yes.
What do they do all day?
They have meetings.
Like, they
do hearings, yes. Ray
what
spoke.
Is and is not an assassination?
Well, no. Well, it was definitely an assassination. I think they tried to ascertain whether it was Ray or whether it was a conspiracy. I think we've seen this. Does John F. Kennedy ring a bell to anyone?
Yeah.
Does anyone think that piss poor shot him from a book depository?
Who?
Exactly.
I was the second gunman on the grassy knoll.
In 1979. No, I already did that. How about let's go 20 years ahead. In 1999, a mixed race jury at a Memphis civil suit reached the unanimous verdict that King was assassinated as a result of a conspiracy involving the U.S. government, a person named Raul, which is weird, among others. Was it Raul? What's the guy from The Dark Knight? Raul
Mondesi?
Ozan Raul or whatever his name is. Regardless.
Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, that guy.
What the hell are you doing?
All right. This kind of drove it home for me, and I really hate this. After the verdict, Coretta King, his wife, said, "There is abundant evidence of a major high-level conspiracy in the assassination of my husband. The jury found the mafia and various local, state, federal government agencies were deeply involved in the assassination. Mr. Ray was set up to take the blame." That is Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife that said that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we 100 on this James Earl Ray thing?
So,
I mean, granted, shitbag, but probably Patsy.
The walk across the famous walk across the Alabama bridge that would end with rioting, that pissed a lot of people off. And the governor of Alabama at the time was a racist fuck. I wish I could remember his name.
Wallace.
But
George Wallace.
Yes, thank you. But he was connected in the governmental agencies back in the day. So does any of this revelation surprise me? No. Not in the slightest.
Lee Harvey Oswald, James Earl Ray. Apparently all Patsies have 3 names.
They do. John Wayne Gacy. But he wasn't really a patsy. He did that shit.
Dave in the HSV.
TJ Step-ins.
Yeah, that's all 3 of my
Jimmy
names.
C. I got 2. I'm good.
I wish someone would tell me whose turn it is.
Dave's turn.
No, it's always your turn first.
Yeah, no, because then you'd bitch about it afterwards.
My turn. That means it's my turn. Let's go to Timmy's Trivioki.
Figaro.
That's not Tosca.
Ugh, my ears.
My neck, my back.
Yep, I remember. Everyone remembers when Elvis performed that.
Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take it. Bermuda, Bahamas. Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego Bay. Welcome to Timmy's Trivioki. All right, we're 1998, guys. We've covered a lot of songs in this era, so these are deep cuts.
I can't wait for next week.
In fact, I think one of them we may have done before, but I'm not positive. Song number one, clue number one. This is a song by English singer Jimmy Ray. It was released October 1997 as the first single from his self-titled debut album.
Who?
Jimmy Ray.
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray.
Ray J?
Clue number two. The song peaked at number 13 on both the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and the UK singles charts. It was the most successful in Canada, reaching number 2 on the RP. I don't think that's
Canada. Canada's maple syrup, not good day.
It has been Jimmy Ray's most popular single to date because he was a one-hit wonder.
Couldn't have been that good because I don't know who the fuck he is still.
I've never
By
heard
the
Jimmy
way,
Ray in my life.
This guy is super narcissistic, I'm guessing, because it's a self-titled album.
Jimmy Ray?
Jimmy Ray. It's a self-titled album.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Clue number three, a music video
Right,
went
said
into heavy
so.
rotation on MTV. The video juxtaposed Ray's rockabilly image with the trailer park setting as
Remember
women in
Sugar
sports
Ray?
jerseys and football shorts danced behind him.
Who are you talking about? I've never heard of this before.
Are you G Ray? Are you Jimmy Ray? Who wants to know? Who wants to know?
I've never heard this song before in my life.
I think he made that shit up.
Yes. Did you and Pondwater make this up on his little app?
The song is Are You Jimmy Ray? Off the album Jimmy Ray by Jimmy Ray.
I don't like it.
You
You think he wrote that song?
No,
was
someone
written
else
by-
wrote it. Because
it
it
was
said
it was written by
otherwise
Trisha
it would be
Underwood.
Am I Jimmy
It was
Ray?
written by Beyonce.
Off to a terrible start, Timmy. Thank you.
This is
Song
terrible.
number two, clue number one. This is a number one R&B single by the American R&B group Boys to Men. ABCD.
Girl in Life magazine.
What?
Girl in the Life magazine.
Is that a real song?
Yeah.
Centerfold. Who sang that?
Jay Giles Band. Never heard of that song. That is not it, by the way.
Girl in the Life magazine.
Clue number two, the tune, which was written and produced by Babyface, served as the theme song to the 1997 motion picture Soul Food, which spent 2 weeks at the number one on
Hey
the U.S.
Lover.
R&B chart. What'd you say?
Hey Lover. No, that came out in 96. That was with LL Cool
Are these
J.
Boys to Men songs?
That was LL Cool J and Boys to Men.
Clue number three. This is the favorite song of Mr. T.
Mama. Song for Mama.
Dave gets it.
Mama,
I love you.
You know I love you, Mama. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
The song actually goes on for 98 minutes, just like Mr. T's speech at the Hall of Fame that year.
So you started with Jimmy Graffiti, and now we're doing that. This is good.
Song number three. Clue number one. This is a song by Haitian rapper Wyclef Jean, released as the third single from his debut solo
Alive.
album, The Carnival. What'd you say?
The Staying Alive song.
The Stand. That's not, no.
Saturday Night Fever.
Clue number two. The orchestral accompaniment, which was arranged and conducted by Sonny Kompanic, was performed by the New York Philharmonic Orchestra.
Well, you can't tell by the way I roll, shorty, that I'm a ladies' man, a businessman. Condos, most. God, what's the name of that fucking song?
It's not that song, just
Oh.
so you know.
Oh, the strip club song.
I definitely. Clue number 3, the music video for this song, directed by Francis Lawrence, is filmed at LAX on November 20th, 1997, and released December 1997. It features a cameo appearance by Bob Dylan when Wyclef sings, quote, "Knocking on heaven's door like I'm Bob Dylan."
Oh,
Cannabis and
song
Destiny's
sucks.
Child also make appearances respectively, but R. Kelly does not, thank God. He would be diddling children. February, March, April, May. Not.
hip clip.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's time for Game Fave. Have you seen it?
You slipper the hot beef injection.
I got nothing, guys.
Three movies this week.
They can't be any worse than Timmy's songs. So
This is going to be epic.
Dave's Faves.
Movie numero with a budget of 80 million. Our first movie this week grossed $136.2 million at the box office.
You lost money.
This is an American science fiction adventure film.
1998.
The Robinson family was going into space to fight for a chance for humanity. Now they are fighting to live long enough to find the way back home.
It's
Danger,
got the
Will
guy from
Robinson.
Friends in it.
Danger.
Lost
Yes,
in Space.
stars
Lost in
Lost
Space.
in
yeah.
Space.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Timmy C.
It
Now,
was a terrible movie.
now this gets fun. Movie numero 2 with a budget of $18 million. Movie number 2 this week grossed a whopping $3.5 million at the box office.
Oh Lord.
This
Far
is what
less-
is Dave's Faves.
Far less than its two predecessors. This movie is one of Dave's faves.
Wait, this is the third installment of the series.
Yes. This is
Oh.
American sports comedy film.
Major League 3, back to the minors.
DJ Steppins. Minor league pitcher Gus Grantrell is recruited by the Minnesota Twins owner Roger Dorn to manage the Twins AAA minor team affiliate, the South Carolina Buzz.
You know what it was missing? Charlie Sheen.
And they had Tanaka, Pedro Serrano, and Rube Baker.
Yep.
in
Yeah,
this
it was
movie.
missing Charlie Sheen. Needed tiger's blood.
All right.
Mm.
Whoever spits this out fastest is going to win some mega bonus.
Oh, now I'm ready.
Movie number C.
TJ's always up for some mega bonus.
Mm.
With an unknown budget. Our last movie this week grossed $376,000 at the
Oh!
American box office.
Oh. Oh, Lord.
8 people saw it. Okay.
This is an American comedy action film. I'm fucking crying.
Comedy action film.
$376,000.
I didn't know that was possible.
But it had an unknown budget. Maybe it was free. Maybe they cleaned up on it.
Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum are back in a fight to save their hero Dave Dragon and their favorite
3
music
ninjas.
part
Kick
from
back.
the evil Medusa. This movie
3
stars
ninjas
Hulk
do something.
Hogan and Lonnie Anderson.
3 ninjas. I should get half a point.
It is 3 ninjas. They're going to an amusement park. It's called Mega Mountain.
3 ninjas go to Mega Mountain.
No.
3 ninjas. Hulk Hogan's almost 50.
Three ninjas watch Hulk Hogan fuck Lonnie Anderson at Magic Mountain.
Magic. It's Mega Mountain.
not for Lonnie. For Lonnie, it was magic. She rode the thermos, the magical thermos ride.
3 Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
That's too long of a title.
It had Hulk Hogan in it.
I had to
to
get
be.
like 3/4 of a point.
I
Didn't
watched this
Dave-
movie about a year ago, and it is terrible.
Did it debut on TNT? How did it only do 3? This is mid NWO. Hulk Hogan, $376,000 at the box office. It had 1 theater in Duluth, Minnesota. What the hell? Speaking
So
of
we've
Hulk Hogan,
established the movies and the music were crap in 1998.
shit. And, both of you. It's 1998. Such a great year, banging, and you lay down.
To be fair, we've
Billy
done
Fat
several.
Fuck, whatever Timmy had in the music, and then Dave's
We have
like
done like 7 shows in
$376,000
this
box
6-month
office.
period in the last 3 weeks.
I saw that on there. I'm like, there's no way I'm not doing 3 Ninjas. I look it up. It goes unknown budget, grossed $376,000 at the box, and he calls himself Hollywood Hogan.
Go cash those checks, brother.
Yeah, at first I was actually thinking Boondock Saints because they bombed historically, but that was like 96 or 97.
Yeah, I'll be glad to get to 75 here soon.
Oh, I can't wait. So here's something I can wait. WCW Saturday Night from April 18th, 1998. Again, this is the go
So
home
bad. So
for
bad.
Spring Stampede. Your announcers are Scott Hudson and Mike Tenay. I never realized Scott Hudson even worked for WCW in 98.
He looked terrible, by the way.
Probably
He looks
'cause
better
he-
now.
He wasn't shaved head-wise. He was doing the horseshoe. And also, nobody watched WCW Saturday Night.
Speaking of horseshoe, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, how was this even on TV?
I don't know why it was on TV.
Nobody.
started-
I tried to find the ratings and couldn't.
They're like, no, nobody watched it.
TBS is like, no, we don't care.
We start the show as we're pushing tomorrow night's WCW Spring Stampede as the war between the NWO and WCW continues. And shit, here comes Disco Inferno.
And they're not at center stage in Atlanta.
Right.
Crazy.
My guess
Right.
is they filmed this like just before or after Thunder.
There was probably
Yeah,
a
this
shooting
was
outside of it.
Recorded after a Thunder.
Huh,
Could you
good.
imagine being there for that taping? Oh.
Well, let's talk about it. Match 1, Disco Inferno takes on some dude with attitude written on his ass. His name is
Johnny
Attitude.
Attitude.
Thanks, Scott Hudson. Because graphics, not a thing in this show. They're just like, they know who they are. It's fine. I don't remember seeing Johnny Attitude before or after the show, but he's getting a lot of offense in this match, including several near falls. Eventually, Disco turns the tables and hits a pile driver for the win.
Johnny Attitude was actually the founder of Micro Championship Wrestling.
Best thing on this show.
He has since passed away a few years ago at the age of 53. The slow-mo replay of the pile driver, not good. Disco didn't get all of it. Or any of it, for that matter.
Or some might say he was protecting him.
Not even close.
Johnny Attitude, a hell of a name. I like it. I can just tell you by the commentary that the bloom was off the rose with WCW here. Whoa. It was bad.
Well, this is April 98. They were still... Monday
Now-
Nitro was still hot. But,
They had just screwed Sting over. It was on the down.
yeah.
Well, Havoc 98 was a DDP Goldberg debacle.
Yep.
Starrcade 98 was when Nash ended the streak. So
There you go. It's almost like there isn't even a match going on here with this commentary. They're just recapping every other match from the pay-per-view tomorrow night. I like it.
That's kind of how everything was, though. Even on Nitro, that was one of my biggest complaints growing up. Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan or whoever else, Larry Zbyszko, they were never talking about the match in the ring. They were talking about the NWO and whatever the main event's going to be that night all night. They didn't talk about shit in the ring.
no. And for good reason.
Yeah,
So-
shit.
We ask up next, we get a video package of Raven as he gets ready for United States Championship match against DDP tomorrow night at Spring Stampede. This would not be the last time we see this video. Now we're recapping highlights from Nitro, where Piper was attacked by the NWO, but he comes back on Thunder and proposes a match of Piper and the Giant against Hogan and Nash in a bat match against Spring Stampede. I don't know why it was a bat match. Sting's not in it. There wasn't a bat in the attack angle.
Bat match! Bat match! Bat match! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Match 2, Jim Duggan goes to battle with Tony Carr. Carr is wearing camp pants. They were supposed to say camo pants. And
Or camp pants.
Or camp pants.
He's going camping.
And you're welcome. You had his name as Cody Carr.
Because I didn't have the volume up real high watching this. And he was wearing a United States Marine Corps t-shirt because apparently Sergeant Craig Pittman isn't around anymore. Pretty standard Duggan match. Hits the 3-point stands clothesline and hits a knee drop he calls Old Glory for the win.
It was Old Glory Hole.
Jim Duggan still wrestling here in 98 was just bad. And to think he went to WWE like 7 years later. Even worse. I was kind of shocked Duggan didn't win with his tape fist gimmick, though.
I thought that was like Mid-South in 84.
No, it was 95
Oh.
and 96. He would literally tape up his fist right in front of the ref and kapow you with it, and the ref would be like, oh, okay, we'll just count you.
Didn't he get Paige's Battle Bowl ring from doing that shit?
Something like that.
Bless you, Tim. Tim's too busy dying to read his part of the notes. There's 4 sneezes. He's covered in mucus. He's a trooper, this guy.
Why is the Marine the heel gimmick in this match? That's weird.
Every time they did this,
We don't like the military here.
Pittman was a heel.
Yeah.
Ranger Ross was not, but then he became a heel when he robbed a bank.
But to be fair,
became a good guy.
it's
Teddy Long.
crazy.
That's true.
Crazy how big Hacksaw is compared to this guy. Hacksaw was gigantic.
Yes, even at 45 or whatever he was here.
And I'm not sure, but I think Scott Hudson just insinuated that Hacksaw deserves a world title match. I don't know. If you're fighting the Marine in like match 2 on Saturday night, probably not ready for prime time yet.
Well, speaking of not ready for prime time, match 3, Hammer and Chase Tatum battle it out here. We all know Hammer sucks, but this Chase dude is huge.
That's Channing's brother.
Channing, yes, that's correct. Apparently, there's dissension in every heel group of WCW. Hammer is feuding with Saturn, as Saturn takes on Goldberg tomorrow night at Spring Stampede. And, of course, this is where the cracks at the top of the NWO show up as well. Tatum looks like a future star simply based off appearance. Meanwhile, Hammer has been here since 1990 with no forward motion, yet Hammer hits a sleeper drop for the win. Hammer had no business winning this match.
Van Hammer was ass.
Trash.
He had the look, but wrestling was not for him. I want to know who he had naked pictures of, because there ain't no way.
Kimberly
Eric
Page,
Bischoff.
most likely.
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, he had pictures of Eric Bischoff booty hole.
He had naked pictures of Kimberly Page.
The last question I asked for
a Playboy from 1994.
I asked one of those Ask Conrad Anythings. I asked him, is there any chance we can get an 83 weeks episode on just Van Hammer? And he said there's not enough there. I go, he worked there for a decade and did nothing. What do you mean there's not enough to do? What happened?
Well, it would just be them covering him wrestling Marines.
No, that was the last match.
I will say, Hammer muscled that dude up after a botch. That was pretty impressive because that dude damn near killed himself, and Hammer picked him up and threw him where he needed to be. Solid dude. I like Van Hammer.
Solid guy. He's a great guy. We barbecued.
That's why he was there for a decade. Good guy, bad wrestler.
Started in 19.
Terrible drunk and likes to drive.
There is that also. He
Well,
it was like early.
what's the
90s.
fun of drinking if you're not going to drive?
Yeah.
He was essentially a roided up ripoff of David Lee Roth when he first started.
Who doesn't
And-
want
and
to see that?
And then they got Max Muscle, or not Max Muscle. They got Max Payne. So they stopped the guitar gimmick with Hammer because Max Payne could actually play it.
Because Max Payne was also the roided up version of Jim Belushi.
No, that's Max Muscle.
John Belushi.
Max Payne was the fat guy that partnered up
Man
with
Mountain
Cactus Jack.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was become Man Mountain Rock, right?
That's why I said he was roided up version of John Belushi.
Where was he putting the roids? Because he wasn't good at it.
In his belly.
In his belly. His belly much larger than John Belushi.
Now we go backstage with Gene Okerlund and Chris Jericho as the Lionheart gets ready to defend the Cruiserweight title against Prince Iaukea, or as he's calling him, Prince Nakamaki. After this, we stay with Okerlund as he plugs the hotline as one wrestler bought flowers for his mother, and if you call in, Gene will tell you about it. I made that part up. I don't remember what he said at all. Also, buy the Nitro Girls bikini calendar. Now that I might do.
Jericho calls himself the Paragon of Virtue. Not so sure about that one in recent news. I love the way Gene slides in the line. Quote, sounds like you might have been around the office lately when he's talking about him not being liked.
Jerry Taylor.
Everyone at TNT at this point with Gene Okerlund.
Match 4, Horseshoe takes on,
Who?
and this is not a typo, Marty Jannetty. Horseshoe's another power plant graduate like Chase Tatum. He's massive. Horseshoe's on top for much of the beginning of the match, and apparently his catchphrase is, there's no business like shoe business, whatever the fuck that means. Jannetty gets back on top and hits the rocker dropper for the win.
So this Horseshoe was actually Luther Reigns.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Luther Reigns from WWE. Yeah. Jannetty was brought into WCW when Thunder became a thing, as they needed more bodies for the shows because all their big stars weren't contracted to work those shows.
Well, they were. They didn't show up.
They just, but it was just not meant to be. He lasted until August, but was released after a shoulder injury, kept him out of action. He made it 7 months.
He's probably also trying to fuck his daughter.
Horseshoe, Luther Reigns.
No,
How
When
that,
he
lucky
left, when he
Horseshoe
left
was.
WWE and went back to independence, he went back to the name Horseshoe.
good for him. No, the
I'm going to
Jannetty
start.
fucking his
My new
daughter-
wrestling name is going to be Reebok Nike.
There you go. The fucking his daughter,
Flip-flop.
that's his indie gimmick. That's not his
I'm flip flop.
big time gimmick. Flip flop.
He's hey dude.
Hey, Clog. Hooker Heels. What's up?
Nice. I like that one a lot, actually. Because that's all Hooker's also a wrestling term, so that's
Yeah.
a twofer.
And a heel.
Did,
heel.
yeah, there you go. Double entendre. So, how lucky you think Horseshoe was? Not at all.
Well, I didn't know he was Luther Reigns, so not very.
Well, he's not as lucky as Jannetty because Jannetty had his own daughter one time.
Again, that's his
May-
WWE gimmick. I don't know if he
maybe-
does that here.
What, Jannetty?
Yeah.
No, I don't think WWE endorses Marty Jannetty having sex with his daughter.
We did a show about it.
I mean, they endorse
I'm
a lot of
upset you
weird
mi-
shit, but
I'm upset. That's the only time I almost peed during the show. I'm upset you've forgotten about it.
Horseshoe's haircut was stupid. I think that's. And then there's no business like shoe business. Is this guy fucking Al Bundy? What is going on here?
He probably would have been more successful if he would have been Horseshoe Bundy.
Al Bundy was on more steroids than a horseshoe.
Really?
No.
Okay. Up next, we get a video package called 60 Seconds with Goldberg. And I
It
only
was
had
his
two
first 100
concussions.
matches in WCW.
I only had 2 concussions by the end of it. So as we go over his list of victims during his 73-0 streak, after the break, we go to highlights from Nitro with Piper and Gene Okerlund. Piper is the commissioner here, I believe, and he has set up a match between Hogan and Nash for that Nitro, and then Hogan and the Acolyte attack Roddy backstage. Then we get an altercation in the ring between Sting and Nash. J.J. Dillon comes out. They make a main event between Nash and Sting for the world title, and the powerbomb's legal. We go towards the finish, and as Sting is going for the Scorpion Deathlock, Savage hits him in the back of the cast. Nash then goes for the powerbomb and hits it, and as the ref goes for the count, Bret Hart pulls out the ref and then goes after Nash. Did you follow me through all that? There was a lot happening here.
No, I fell asleep during that point.
Good. Match 5. This will catch your attention. El Dandy takes on Evan Courageous, another graduate of the power plant. WCW seems to be trying to push some of the younger guys to their credit, but the only guy I remember of the three we've seen so far is Evan Courageous. This was a decent back and forth match, and then suddenly El Dandy hits a right hand for the win. Just punched him in the face. That was his finish. I didn't think El Dandy ever won a match in WCW.
Yeah, Courageous got a little run around the 2000 time frame as part of the boy band gimmick thing where Tank Abbott was their biggest fan and bodyguard. When I was writing the notes, I couldn't remember it, but they were 3 count. Remember it now.
Which they never got. They never got a 3 count. Like I said, I fell asleep during this match. I don't know what was going on.
It was a 3 count was the name of the group.
That's what he said.
Okay.
I said that.
I repeated it.
Okay.
Remember who
They never got one.
It was Evan Courageous, Shane Helms, and Shannon Moore.
Yeah. They suck.
I liked him. We're plugging this bat match at Spring Stampede again, and I have this question. I asked it earlier. If Sting's not in this match, why is this a bat match?
Maybe Joe Carter was in the match.
In 98. Just a mere 5 years after his World Series heroic.
Look, everyone else in that main event wasn't popular for the last 5 years. Why wouldn't Joe Carter be there?
No, that's not true. The Giant was in it.
Okay.
The Giant actually had a decent career ahead of him. Match 6, Lenny Lane and the Cruiserweight Champion Chris Jericho go at it. This is fun. When Jericho did his interview earlier, he had a beard and now he's clean shaven. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
No, I missed that.
Jericho's in the midst of his Man of 1,004 hold storyline against Dean Malenko.
Armbar.
That was still one of my favorite promos of this day. Malenko is currently off TV. It's a shame that Jericho sucks now because he was great back in 98. Malenko is currently off TV selling that he's upset at his losing to Jericho. He's at home. And of course, his comeback at, Super Brawl, when they do the Battle Royal and he reveals himself to be sequel play, that was phenomenal. This match was set up because Lenny wrestled as Jericho in Hoovie's mask, but when Lenny went to get his payment from Jericho, Jericho stiffed him. Decent match. Jericho hits the Lion Tamer for the win.
Jericho was so good here, but I saw it. The pre-recorded interview, Jericho with the beard, and he comes out bald. Gotta love it. Clean shaven.
Well, their
match wasn't bad.
You could have shaved between that.
The match wasn't bad, but Lenny Lane sucked. Most everybody that was in the Ravens flock were trash, so he was never going to go anywhere. Time filler.
The story they tell about Lenny Lane playing Jericho checks out because Lenny Lane looks just like Jericho. What the hell? And Scott Hudson does a terrible Chris Jericho trying to make fun of him.
Yes. Now we go to Thunder as Jericho asks for a weigh-in for Prince Iakea to make sure he's less than 225 pounds for the Cruiserweight match, and Jericho attacks Prince with a scale. I mean, he hit him in the face with one. I'm not really sure how you work that. Match 7. Ray Traylor takes on Power Plant graduate Brett Hanmer. Dave, you've probably had your hands full researching this match, finding out where all these Power Plant graduates went. Taylor was in control for most of this match and hits the Bubba Slam for the win.
Hamner actually wrestled under another name at one point, but it wasn't in WCW. That name, Dick Hertz.
I feel like in 2000 WCW, he'd have fit right in with
Dick
general erection.
So many power plant guys here. Oh my, this was brutal.
I will say, Boss Man moved well. He was light here. And they talk about the Boss Man's former tag partners. Early, I thought about Typhoon and Tugboat, but no,
Tugboat.
Pretty sure they tagged together.
So I love that you say that Big Boss Man was light in this match and moving good. There's a reason for that.
He was 100 pounds lighter than last time we saw him.
It's because he's getting ready to leave. He's ready to do the SWAT gimmick in WWF. That's why. He's like, oh shit, now I need to care.
Yeah.
Now we go to Thunder again, where Piper and the Giant are issuing the challenge for the bat match at Spring Stampede. And then Sting and Savage are having a match. Sting is going for the Scorpion Splash, but Savage gets his cast up and goes for the flying elbow, but has to stand up there for like 12 minutes because the Acolyte is late getting to the ring and knock him off the top rope. We get a DQ and they attack Savage, but Nash is quite angry at this revelation, ends up helping Savage. A lot going on here. Again, the NWO showing cracks here at the top. Match 8. I wonder how much longer after this till the Wolfpack formed. I don't think it was too much longer after this. I don't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't that long because I'm trying to think what pay-per-view was it when Hall and Nash lost the titles to Sting and Giant when Giant went to because
This is entertaining.
Hall turned on Nash, and so that had to be
the one after this is Great American Bash.
That'd be the ones. It was right before Bash at the Beach.
Timmy quit. Apparently, he doesn't like when we talk wrestling on a wrestling podcast. That's weird.
Trying to think, but yeah, it was shortly after this because Hogan and Nash had the fallout. But see what was stupid? Then all these WCW guys started joining the Wolfpack,
like Disco Inferno.
Well, no, like Sting and Luger and
Luger.
Yeah. They're supposed to be WCW for life. Well, now they're in the fucking NWO. So,
well, I mean, they gave Sting tomato can Sting. So,
I remember there was an episode of Nitro where DDP was going to join. He actually said, "I never thought I was going to do this," and started to put a shirt on. Then he was attacked by Hogan and Robin from behind by a chair. And the next week on Nitro, never mentioned it again.
Shocker.
Was that setting up Bash at the Beach with him and Jay Leno?
No,
because that'd be Hogan and
Malone.
Yeah. So that was Malone and Rodman. Yeah, that was 98. Because Hogan had just lost the title to Goldberg.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, due to Timmy's reaction here, he's left, but he doesn't know. We're actually going to start a new show on our Patreon where we just cover 1998 WCW show by show. We're going to break it down individually. Saturday Night, Thunder, all of them. And he's
Timmy's doing it. He's the host.
He's a part of it. He doesn't know it yet. He's doing it by himself, which is going to be more fun.
Yeah.
Match 8. Chavo Guerrero Jr. goes one-on-one with Trevor Blanchard. Were they using the power plant just to make enhancement, guys? Because that's all they've done so far. Well, actually, looking at Fletcher,
Trevor Blanchard looking at Fletcher.
It's not Fletcher, it's Blanchard. He probably didn't come from the power plant. Chavo here is still wearing Eddie's shirt because he has to, but he's definitely revolting against his uncle. I enjoyed this Chavo gimmick. He hits a tornado DDT for the win.
Yeah, you'd think at this point WCW would have scratched this Saturday night shit because you know that nobody's watching it. They're spending money. I mean, this was one that they could have done without. Had to be recorded all at one time for a month. So basically that's why the announcers there, because it's all, pre-recorded back over again and nobody knows what the shit. So this was terrible. Terrible. I loved Saturday Night back in 94 time frame.
Yes. Steve Austin was on it.
Once Nitro hit, Saturday Night died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so Saturday Night was their A show.
Well, they had Saturday Night and then the main event on Sunday.
Saturday Night main event and
then you had Clash of the Champions. Well, WCW Pro, I used to watch that. I'd get up in the morning and eat breakfast while watching
that
Pro.
That was like a D show.
Right.
Yeah. They had Worldwide and Pro.
That's where you see Bill Kazmaier towards the end of his run.
I remember Glacier made his first match on WCW Pro, and he beat the Gambler.
Good for him.
Kenny Rogers?
I love that they spent all that time just building up blood runs cold, Glacier, and he fucking debuted on Pro. Like, what
the ring would spin. You remember the spinning ring?
Yes.
And then I remember they actually had one time they built up this episode of Pro. Hulk Hogan and Sting are going to tag team for the first time ever. And they took on the Bruise Brothers. And so you're watching Pro. It's the last match. It lasted all of 10 seconds. And I'm just like, are you shitting me? I was so excited to see Hulk Hogan and Sting tag team for 10 seconds.
All of the budget and the gimmickry and the money they spent in Glacier, and they debuted him on Pro
Against the Gambler.
The fuck. Well, Timmy, what do you think of Trevor Blanchard here?
Hold on. Which match is that?
It's the Chavo Trevor Blanchard match. It's match 8.
Hold on.
Maybe you should stop leaving like a asshole and partake in our podcast.
All right.
Start pissing your
What
pants.
you were talking about was very asshole-ish talk. They do a good job of making Chavo look bigger than he was because this guy was tiny. I thought Trevor Blanchard looked like Bill Engvall, the Here's Your Sign guy.
You know, that's fair.
If he would have put it on Chavo's forehead halfway through the match, I'd have been more entertained. Here's your sign.
Are you ready to be entertained? Because up next is another hotline spot.
Non-entertaining match, yes.
And then we get a video package for Raven and DDP again as they head into Spring Stampede for the U.S. title. And then, you ready for this? Match 9. Jerry Flynn, world-renowned promo king. We saw it on a pay-per-view a couple months ago.
Not
Takes
Jerry
on
Lynn.
Scott Steiner, who is now Big Papa Pump. Scott Steiner brings a trophy to the ring for some weird reason, puts it on the apron, and eventually throws Flynn into the ropes, and the trophy hits the floor. Another weird part of this match, Jerry Flynn's getting offense. Why? Steiner makes his comeback, puts the trophy back in the ring, and gets a shitty-looking Steiner recliner, by the way, for the win. Like, one of Jerry Flynn's hands was free. So really, what are you doing to it?
Should have tickled his balls.
Give you a gooch tickle.
Jerry Flynn. Has he ever won a match?
He almost won this one.
Terrible.
He had a promo once we watched it.
I'd rather see more power plant guys.
I would not. Can we talk about how the Steiner recliner is simply like a terrible version of the camel clutch?
Yeah, it's not. This one looked especially bad.
The Iron Sheik would spit on him. Hop-poo!
Hey, boy. Now we go back to Nitro as Bagwell and Luger are in the ring squaring off, which is what everyone needed. Bagwell goes for the blockbuster but misses, and Luger starts hitting forearm shots, signals for the torture rack and gets it. Bischoff comes into the ring and is kicking Luger for the DQ. Luger gets his hands on Bischoff, puts him in the rack. Then Steiner comes out and evens the odds. It becomes their 3-on-1 here. When here comes Rick Steiner and the heels scatter. So essentially this show is power plant guys and Trevor Blanchard, and then recap of Nitro and Thunder. That's Saturday night. That's what we're doing. But here's what's fun.
You know how much money we could draw if we could get Lex Luger to put Bischoff in the torture rack
today? I mean, I think it'd be like a small miracle.
You could draw so much money.
We would need like Pat Robertson, and we could make like a telethon out of it.
I'll see if Jimmy Swaggart's free. Hold on.
Matt, that's terrible. Match 10. You would think Scott Steiner would be the main event of Saturday night. Nay. There's 5 minutes left of this shit show, and we start the next match as fucking Reese comes out for the main event to take on the Barbarian.
They've been announcing it as the main event. Why are you surprised?
I'm not reviewing this match. Barbarian hit a big boot for the win. There you go.
Reese was better as the Yeti.
That's bad.
They should have brought that gimmick back.
Also, not related to the show at all.
Could you imagine a mummy with an NWO shirt on?
No,
because he probably would have joined NWO.
They'd have to line up the little
the toilet paper
wrapping, the ace bandage.
They spell out NWO and doo-doo on his chest.
Is it
Robin-
because he's the shit or because
Yeah.
he's the shits?
He's the
when I
shit.
was at Squared Circle Expo working Sonny Ono's table, they have this banner behind him, right? And they have like random pictures of his career. One of them was him with when they turned the Yeti into the Super Ninja or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And I looked at it, I go, why the fuck is that one of the pictures you put on the banner? You remember this guy? No, of course not.
Thank you, Dave, for yawning. Appreciate
Ah,
it. Sorry
my
to bore
bedtime.
you. It's like they don't put a mute button on your mic.
Gene Okerlund, he's like, hey, do y'all remember Spring Stampedes tomorrow? I'm going to remind you again. Hotline. We go off the air.
1-900-909-9900.
He was, if you called then, he was just going to tell you, hey, Saturday night just ended. That was.
I thought there was going to be some. I thought there was going to be some awesome movies. I was so disappointed in the movies this week, but $376,000.
And that might be the lowest box office we've ever done.
Can we not do 1997 through 99 for a while? I feel like I've been beaten over the head with it.
All right, I have to look at our future show schedule, but I guarantee you, next week we will not be doing that.
Yes, 1975.
Well, hey,
TVC in high school.
hey, don't you blew it here. Let's
My
not get
internet
ahead of ourselves.
died.
Got
Not
ahead
gonna
of
be
the,
up for
got
2
ahead of the
weeks.
skis here. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please let us know. Give us that 5-star review wherever we get this podcast. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Podcast. Follow our network at Ram Network Net. Is that right? Because you didn't fix this one.
Damn it.
It's
Hold
at
on.
ramnetwork.com.
It's not.
Oh,
All right. We're
Let
cutting
me
this
scroll
for
up to
audio.
the top here. We're very professional here.
It's okay. We're cutting
Ram
the audio.
Sportsnet. Ram
Yeah.
Sportsnet. There you go.
At Ram Sportsnet on the Twitter machine.
and
As for
it's
us,
theramnetwork.com.
is it?
Or patreon.com
.com/.
/Ram Network.
As for us, you can find us on our social media platforms at Dollar Bill Dave.
At Dave in the HSV.
Timmy C.
At Timmy C 1979.
And I am at T Stevens 91. Next week we cover, I'm so ready for this, WWF Old School from April 1975.
Nope.
This is not a joke. This is
Nope.
real. We're doing it.
Not doing it. Freeze.
Yep. Dave's in.
We're doing it.
Bobby Fischer quits. Steve Miller jumps on his jet airliner and gets arrested. Again, so long ago, the Vietnam War still a thing here.
Jet
April 75.
airliner, baby.
Timmy got
Nope.
it. So much
I'm
more.
not watching it. I refuse.
Well, I do know the main event is Bruno Sammartino against Spiros Agnew in a Greek death match. Whatever.
Do they go Broadway? I'm hoping they go Broadway.
I hope that's the entire show. Is just that one. Match. Maybe
I
a
hope it
promo.
doesn't end. I hope it has to end because of people got to go home bullshit.
The Sam,
Curfew.
Sam curfew.
Son of
Yeah.
Sam was not in 75.
That was
Well, maybe
76.
they had Data Sam then.
Data Sam.
Dad of Sam.
What is that?
That's an old
This has been the
timer.
Filter Free Podcast. It's so long for now.
Joke of the week. What do you call a constipated detective?
Searching for a poop.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.